Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at this engine and what it used to be. Right now this is a 445-inch FE engine based on a 390 block 4 1/4 stroke crank. It's got Edelbrock aluminum heads, a tunnel wedge intake, 2.4 intake, hydraulic roller cam. It's a good little package. We're going to get into what brought this to me from a friend, Pete, and the problems that he had with what this was before. This engine was originally based off of a service block, a 427 service block, with these aluminum heads, intake, pretty much as you see it. Pete brought it to me. He had bought it from another engine builder who shall be nameless. I'm not going to out anybody publicly. I don't do that. Anyway, he brought it to me after buying it from him to put it on my run stand and to break it in, check everything, make sure nothing was leaking or anything like that. Didn't really need to be broken in. It had a solid roller camshaft in it. But anyway, he just wanted to make sure I had a good bill of health before he dropped it in his car. Put it on my run stand, ran it in. Everything seemed fine. Good oil pressure, up to temperature, heat cycled it a few times, didn't see any leaks. Everything looked really good. Gave it back to him, took it home, put it in his car. Took him a while. He got it all together, got it running, took it around the block, and he noticed his oil pressure fluctuating. And he's like, that's not good, which it isn't. So he lets me know he's got an oil pressure problem and he doesn't want to drive it anymore. I tell him, bring it down, I'll look at it for him. Help him out, see what I can find. I get it down here, start looking over it, and I didn't even want to start it because I didn't know what's going on inside the engine. Started just looking at things. I could see external leaks of water coming from the cylinder heads. A lot of things just didn't look right. I decided, well, let's drain the oil. Drain the oil, and about a gallon of antifreeze came out of the pan. Okay. I knew what I had to do at that point. Pulled the engine, tore it down, and found some pretty bad stuff. Here in the corner is that 427 block. At one time, it had been sleeved, and then it had a partial fill with hard block up to the water pump holes. You can see that there. That's fine. Done that with blocks. I've run them on the street like that. I have no issues with that. Problem came when the sleeve wasn't installed correctly and it leaked water out through the bottom. How on earth water could get through hard block and find a leak at the bottom of a sleeve is beyond me. That tells me something went horribly wrong, probably when they did the block fill. They didn't take the time to fill the block correctly. Voids in there, some gaps, water worked their way through and down through the bottom under pressure. The majority of the water that I found in the oil pan came from that leak. Upon other inspection, I also found several of the head bolt holes were cracked. You can see the marks put by the machinist who did the work on the block to see what was going on. He found these cracks and they let out external, which explained the external leaks at the head gasket. When taken apart, it was found that sealant was used on all the bolt holes that had cracks, and then head studs were run in. The head studs were impossible to get out. They had to be destroyed to be removed. So that was problem number 2. And the further you looked at it, the worse things got from there. It was an engine that should have never been put back together. The engine builder who did this should be ashamed of himself because he knew this going in, that this was not going to last. It's just a real shame. From the point that we found out that that 427 block was no good, Pete had said he had another 390 block. It was a 70 truck block, which are real nice. It's a 390 truck block. It's a D4TE with the reinforced main webs. So great, we got that in, cleaned it out. My machinist did all the machine work to it, got everything ready. We took the internals, 4 1/4 stroke crankshaft, the rods and everything, had everything rebalanced, checked, new pistons, and installed on that 390, which created this 445. Had the heads gone over, also found them to be warped, had them decked, new fresh valve job, valve seals, just totally gone through. I didn't trust anything at that point from the guy who put this together. Assembled it. You might have seen the previous videos where I did the ring filing and some assembly of the short block. We ended up to this point. Engine is pretty much ready to drop in. A few more little things to do. Motor mounts. I'm going to put the exhaust manifold headers on, the shorty headers, and probably some of the pulleys in the front. Bell housing on, starter, clutch, everything, and then drop it in the car as it is. What you can take from this video is be careful buying complete engines. You can buy an engine from somebody who is a very reputable builder and well known in the FE Ford community, which the guy who originally assembled that 427 short block was. Again, not saying the name. If I said it, you'd know him right away. You can buy an engine from somebody like that, and you would hope that they would be honest and do right by you and sell you something that was good. That didn't happen in this case. If you can hear an engine run before you buy it, if it's complete, I highly recommend that. And unless you know exactly who you're buying from and that you have recourse to go back to see them, if God forbid something would happen, you should probably pass on it. That's why I generally don't buy complete engines unless they're running. And even then you worry because you just don't know. But at any rate, we got Pete squared away. He's got a good engine here. We're going to get it in his 62 Galaxy and get him back on the road this summer. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.